Shalom, giving all praise to Yahawah, Qadash, Shalom to the 144,000 the rest of you elect out there. Shalom to you all. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video, We Are the True Prophets. And true prophets prophesy the downfall of a system. And that's this system, this current system. So anyway, I'm going to go with the Spirit. See where the Spirit takes me. Anyway, this right here, I'm not going to show you the title of this video. What I'll do is I'll leave the link in the description box, because I don't want to play around and they mess around with me. You know how YouTube do. But this is on you. This is redacted, so it is on YouTube. So if they took down my video, they would have to take down theirs. So, and this, I'm pretty sure it's going to stay up. Anyway, for the ones of you that listen to these leaders, these other Israelites that told you to take the jump shot, there one individual, General Yahawashi, said, go ahead and take it. He made it crystal clear, and I have it on video, to go ahead and take it. Then they had to set up a campaign of you're not going to take it because you're not a real man, or you're scared of needles, which led me to believe that maybe he made some backdoor deal. Bishop Nathaniel made one of the statements that he made, and I also have that on video, is that take it if you have to. So before you watch my video, or you can watch my video, but watch this one right here. I'm going to leave the link in the description box. Like I said, if you're not familiar with Redacted, you should subscribe and receive the notifications. Give you a lot of information. This, by the way, is Natalie Morris and her husband, the husband-wife team, Clayton Morris, of Redacted, and they were a part of the mainstream media in the U.S. If I'm not mistaken, they're living in Europe right now, and they're pretty much telling you the true news. They couldn't have a TV show in America. They would never let them. Too much truth. When they both could be Jakes. I know for a fact that Natalie speaks fluent Hispaniola, Spanish, so she could be one of the Latin tribes. Her husband Clayton, I believe he could be a Jake, but we'll see. So anyway, this video is concerning the prophets, true prophets, prophesied of an end. Anytime a prophet comes on the scene, it's because of the end of a system. Babylonians came down, you had prophets prophesied Babylon, and then you had prophets prophesied that Babylon would go down. And all of these, when you go back to the Babylonians murdered Medes and Persians, Greeks, Romans, and the revived Roman Empire, the prophets had prophesied all of them to come up and to go back down, and that our kingdom would be an everlasting kingdom. So this is the truth, folks. Anyway, you know what I want to do? I want to go into a few scriptures honoring the name of the Most High, because somebody claims they're a prophet of Israel and they say we don't know the name of the Most High. You can call him Yo Play Yogurt. You don't got to really call him his name. You can call him Most High and Christ Bless. I'm going to give you a couple of precepts concerning honoring the name of the Most High. which means the name of the Most High and His beloved Son. And then I wanted to go into some scriptures on the destruction of this man. So anyway, so you have to honor the true power, not Jesus, not God Almighty, not Krishna, not Buddha, not Allah, not Manu, none of those names. The true name of the Most High is Yahawah, and His Son's name is Yahawashi. Any scholar will tell you that. They won't pronounce it the same way we pronounce it. If you go to Google, which I'm not going to do, if you go to Google, put in the true name of God or the true name of the God of the Bible, the true name of the Son, they'll give you what's called the Tetragrammaton, and then they'll give you the name of the Son. Now, if you go to the blue letter, though we use the blue letter, go to the name for Jesus, they go off. They say it's the word is Yahawashi, which means what is it? Yahawah delivered, which is not true. They went off on that. You got to know when the blue letter goes off. They go off maybe 5-10% of the time. Like if you go to the word Israel and the meaning of the word, they'll say, I think they'll say, I'm not going to look at it. They should say Israel. When you break it down in Hebrew, it means he's a prince of God. If they say he rules with God, same thing, but the word prince is in there. And they say it's something else. I think they say he wrestles with God, because Jacob wrestled with the angel. It's not that. They went off on that as well. They go off, like I said, maybe 10% of the time they'll go off on certain things. So anyway, I'm just going to give you a handful of precepts. So if you ever, like if you was a part of the IUIC and somebody, you say, well, why don't we call on the name Yahawah, Yahawashi, if that's the true names? And Bishop Nathaniel's been saying that quite often recently. We know the true name of the Most High is Yahawah, and His Son's name is Yahawashi. But at one time he said we don't know the name, or you don't have to utter His name. You got to wait for the kingdom. Was that Zephaniah 3:9? Well, how do you explain Isaiah 19, the whole chapter? 5 cities in the land of Canaan. I'm sorry, 5 cities in Egypt. We will speak the language of Canaan. The language of Canaan, look it up, go to Google. They say the ancient language of Canaan, or the Canaanite language. They're going to tell you it's Hebrew. In order for you to understand these scriptures, you have to deal with the etymology of words to get a complete understanding. I can give you examples of that. The term is lost in translation. Sometimes the English is not good enough. That's in also in the prologue to Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach. They said not too many words. Hebrew, there's more power in the Hebrew. So sometimes you got to go into the Hebrew. Yeah, but you got to speak fluent Hebrew. No, you don't. I went to Mexico years ago. I learned enough Spanish on the plane to get by. I didn't speak Spanish, but I learned enough Spanish to get by. So anyway, let me give you some of these precepts, like I said. See where the Spirit takes me. Exodus 20, verse 7. Let's see what that says. Thus shalt thou take the name of Yahawah thy power in vain, for Yahawah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Now what does that mean? You got people that know the name, but they'll blurt it out, like you just talk, talk regular, like people say goddamn and Jesus, Christ. That you're saying it and you're just blowing it out there like it's any old name. This is a sacred name. Like when I say the name of the Most High and I say the name of His beloved Son, I say it in the opening of every video. So it's an opening. So I'm not saying it, and I'm not saying it taking a name in vain. And that's the commandments. Says, thou shalt have no God before me. Small, lowercase g. And that's how Jeroboam got the majority of the northern kingdom to follow him, because he pulled out, out of nowhere, he pulled out two calves, the calves that go back, the golden calves that go back to Egypt, which proves what? They were secretly worshiping the gods of Egypt and the gods of the surrounding people. Read Ezekiel chapter 8. Therefore, when you read Ezekiel chapter 9, you understand why the Most High put a lot of Israelites to death back then. That's something that already happened and will happen again. Okay, so let's go to Psalms 81. To the chief musician upon Gitpith, a psalm of Asaph, sing aloud unto the Most High, our strength. Make a joyful noise unto the God, the power of Jacob. Take a psalm and bring hither the timbrel, the pleasant harp, with the psaltery. These are instruments, musical instruments. It says, blow up the trumpet in the new moon in the time appointed on our solemn feast days. Now, when you go into this, matter of fact, let me do this. Blow up the trumpet in the new moon, which the word there is, you guess, Qadash, which is in new, or in the new moon. And the time appointed, let's deal with this. And the time appointed and it says there full moon. So you got the IUIC saying they'll read this, and because they don't go into the etymon of the words, they think the new moon, blow up the trumpet in the new moon in the time appointed on our solemn feast day. So what is the feast day? They could really say feast days, because there's two major feasts that take place on the full moon, which is the Passover and the Feast of Tabernacles, which if you go to the commentary, most of those scholars will tell you that some will say it's a Passover, some will say it's the Tabernacle, some say we don't know if it's a feast, because it says single day. It said blow up the trumpet on the new moon. That's when the moon is dark. Now let me go to another translation, an LT. Blow up the ram's horn at new moon and again at full moon to call a festival. And that festival, like I said, the scholars will say it's either the Passover or the Feast of Tabernacles. Because when did the Passover come in? 14 days in the evening, going into the 15th day of the new moon. So when you celebrate the Passover and you look up in the sky, the moon is full. Now, when Yahawashi was put upon the cross, there was a time of 3 hours of darkness, which goes back to Genesis 1 verse 14. The Lord made 3 lights, the sun, the moon, and the stars, meaning 3 forms of light. And he said these are for signs, seasons, days, and years. When you look up the word signs, it's the word Yahawah, which means a sign, like a sign of something to come. So you see these series of eclipses that take place, and you know something's going to come. We know as a people something's going to come. So when Yahawashi was on the cross, it became dark for 3 hours. So what happened? It was a lunar eclipse as opposed to a solar eclipse that we just experienced not even a month ago. Both the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse both turn everything dark. It goes from bright sunlight to darkness. Like it's like 12 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night. But the difference between a lunar eclipse and solar eclipse you only experience it for about a good 10 minutes. Give or take a couple of minutes here and there. A lunar eclipse takes much longer. It could be an hour, 2 hours. The longest lunar eclipse was for 3 hours, almost 4 hours. 3 hours 41 minutes. The lunar eclipse, when Yahawashi was on the cross, took place for exactly three hours. So that was definitely a lunar eclipse as opposed to a solar eclipse, because it was longer. That's how you know. You go to Google and you put in, was there a lunar eclipse when our Lord was crucified? And some of the sites will tell you, yes, there was a lunar eclipse, and they'll explain it. A lunar eclipse occurs when you have the sun, the earth, and the moon. You have the earth in between the sun and the moon. Solar eclipse is when you got the moon in between the sun and the earth. So both events make everything dark. And see, if Bishop Nathaniel's watching the video, he'll understand it, and he would say, I was wrong about the new moon being the full moon. He watches our videos. Because you know how we know that? Because when he does his Saturday class, he's talking about us concerning what we said, what videos we made. So he doesn't change it because either he took that deal or he's filled up with pride. So anyway, this is dealing with, I'm dealing with the honoring the name of the Most High. So there's many precepts honoring the name of the Most High. The importance of honoring the name of the Most High. Okay, Psalms 34:3. Oh, magnify Yahawah with me, and let us exalt his name together. So if you woke up to the fact that you're an Israelite, you also, there's jakes out there that can't see it. The Kemetic community, they can't see it. Jakes in Islam can't see it. The Moors can't see it. None of these groups could see it because the Most High didn't open up their eyes. So if the Most High opened up your eyes to you being the Israelite, knowing that you're an Israelite, well, you have to also know the name of the Most High. Because who you going to give thanks to for bringing back the remembrance of the fact that you were an Israelite, bringing all things to thy remembrance, although thou once knew this. Bringing all things, let me go to that. I believe that's Jude. So as you ask, why do you got to know the name, true name of the Most High? Because there's scriptures on it. The Most High told us through his men to honor him. Jude 1:5. I will therefore put you in remembrance, though ye once knew this. Knew what? That you was an Israelite, and now you know you're an Israelite again. And you know the Most High, because you once knew the Most High's name. How that Yahawah, having saved the people out of Egypt, afterward destroyed them that believe not. So the ones of you that don't believe, ultimately, you're going to be destroyed, but you're going to come back. You're not going to burn in hell. Another thing that the Bishop Nathaniel be teaching, he says anything, and them people just eat it up. That means the Spirit is not dealing with those people. Remember, when you go back, let's just deal with the New Testament and the apostles. They had to have meetings. They had to have councils on whether, if you go to Acts 10 and Acts 11, there was a big uproar about that, and Peter had to explain himself for them to finally see it. When you go to, where else? Acts 15, there was a big controversy about circumcision. So Paul had to, the council was called the Jerusalem Council. So Peter said, no, they don't have to be circumcised, meaning at this point in time. And obviously these were Israelites that came, they did not know that they were Israelites coming back into the fold. So they said that we're not going to put a whole lot of laws on you. There's certain laws: don't commit adultery and don't eat anything that dies of itself, or the blood. Because people that eat blood, they're gonna get sick and die. And let me give you another one, Malachi 3, verse 16. And who gives you this information? The prophets. Then they that feared Yahawah spake unto. See, when we see this, when we read this, when we're doing our lessons, you could say the Most High, but you also could say Yahawah. You're pushing out that vibration, the true name of the Most High. You can also say, then they that feared Yahawah by Shem Yahawashi spake often to one another. So the ones that's why you have many different groups. We couldn't be involved in the IUIC because they're teaching things that's contrary to what we teach. Remember the church of Berea. I keep bringing that up. The Apostle Paul, bigged them up for double checking what he said. Spake often one to another. Not throw them out. Okay, you said something. Paul said something. I don't believe what you're saying, Paul. Okay, you out of here. No. You pushing somebody out here for questioning you. You're in danger of judgment. You got to be very careful when you're dealing with Israelites. If a guy goes off, he might just go off. He might apologize. We fall 7 times and get back up. If a guy goes off and the man's sincere, you get on him and then, you don't kick him out. But if a guy is constantly going off, he's constantly bucking up against things, you think about getting rid of him. There was 2 brothers that I kind of had a mini council with, and they were a little shook as to what was going on, and they shouldn't have been shook, because if they did something wrong, all they got to do is say, "Oh, I didn't realize it. Forgive me. I won't do it again," or whatever the case may be. But it was something that wasn't a big deal, because we do go off. We do go off. So if what is that? It's either Matthew 16 or Matthew 18. I believe it's Matthew 16. Go to them one-on-one. Somebody put it in. I'm not going to look for it. But it's either Matthew 16 or Matthew 18. I always get them two confused. But it says, go to that man. If you restore him, you have found a friend or whatever. Then go, and they don't listen to you. Go to one or two others, and then go to the church. If they don't listen to the church, then you cast them out as a heathen. So they become a heathen in your eyes, but they're really Israelites. That's why when you come across the word heathen, Gentile, Greek, there's a difference between the Grecian in Acts 6 and the Greeks in Galatians 3 verse 28. And see me teaching right now, this is a lot of information that we all know. You've been in this thing, you all know these scriptures. This is almost a back to the basics type thing. These churches that buck up against it, if they really sat down and listened to what we got to say, they would say, yeah, I'm an Israelite. I did one video the other day where you had this rapper, Chris Jones something, and they're doing an interview. I believe Vocab Malone interviewed him. This is a couple of days ago, and I did a video on it where the guy says that his father, which is a pastor, became an Israelite. Well, your father became an Israelite because he knew the scriptures, and I guess he started watching videos and say, this makes all the sense in the world. I'm an Israelite. And the majority of our people that's a part of Israel all had some experience with the church. That's how we know how to deal with the church. Because we were all in the church. I was a Protestant. Yes, Vocab Malone. I was actually a Protestant. I was in the same sect that you're in. Then they that feared Yahawah spake often one to another, How do we speak to each other? Through the web. And Yahawah hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that fear Yahawah, and that thought upon his what? That thought upon his name. So how can you think upon his name if you don't know his name? I'm not going to read the rest of this. Let me see what Revelation 3 verse 12 has to say. Him that overcometh will I take the pillar of the temple of my power, and shall go, and he shall go no more out, and I will write upon him the name of my power, and the name of the holy of the city of my power, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down from heaven, out of heaven, from my power. And I will write upon him my new name. Now, new name means refreshed name, because nobody knows the name, the true name of Yahawah B'Shem Yahawashi. So it's going to be like it's new. You take an old beat up 52 Chevy and you rebuild it, it becomes new. You know, you have these people, they'll take an old beat up car and they'll make it look brand new. So is the car actually new? No, the car was built in 51, 52. So when you rebuild it or refresh it, it becomes new again. Renew by the renewing of your mind. Give you one more. Genesis 22 verse 14. So any man claiming to be an Israelite says the name is not important. You can call him what you want. Run away from that individual. And Abraham called the name of the place. Now the word here, I'll read it verbatim. Jehovah Jireh, as it is said to this day, the mount of the Yahawah it shall be seen. Now let me go on to the word. So when you go to Exodus 6 and Exodus 3, it speaks about, you know, Abraham asked the name of the Most High, told him, this is my name forever. I was not well known by that name or known by that name. Abraham knew the name before Moses came on the scene. So they knew the name Yahawah. But he said, my number one name is Yahawah. Let me do this. Yahawah, which is the name of the Most High, and Yahawah. So it's Yahawah, Yahawah, what does that mean? It means to see. When you break it down, Yahawah, Yah-Ra, he present, he see. That's what it means. So there's a lot of precepts on the importance of the name of the Most High. Now I want to go into the destruction of this man. I'll give you a couple of precepts and see this lesson that I'm doing. You take out your notepads or whatever, because I'm letting the scripture speak. Luke 17 and 29. Let's see what that says. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. Now you can go up and read, go up a couple of verses. '26th verse. As it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man. They did eat and drink, they married wives, they were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered in. So government's going to be intact. Things are going to get worse. We're going to experience Jacob's trouble, but government will still be intact. But part of the government or the part of the systems around the world will be broken. Like we're discovering now. You go to the stores now. I remember you go into any supermarket, the shelves are always full. There's certain places where the shelves are empty. Or they might have 3 or 4 items there where they push it up to the front. When you go back prior to 2021, really 2021, that's when it happened. The prices started shooting up. Gas went up. What was that, 2022, I believe? The gas went up. This every day, this started going up and up and up and up and up. 10, 15, 20 cents a day. And shot past $5, $5.30, $5.40. There were certain places in California, the gas was $7, $8. That's why they're not gonna put, you'd be a damn fool to put Biden back in the office. Now if he goes back in the office, then Donald Trump was right. The elections were rigged. The average person, they don't see what's going on. They don't understand what's going on. We see everything perfectly. Job 15-29. Let's see what that says. He shall not be rich, neither shall his substance continue. Who is it talking about? It doesn't have to say, well, it's talking about Edomites. It's talking who's in power right now. Neither shall he prolong the perfection thereof upon the earth. The perfection means his perfection. He shall not depart out of darkness. The flame shall dry up his branches. Now we know what the flame is talking about. Now you had two of the members of the HODC was on Vocab's show, and one of the main speaker, he was saying, well, the way this place is going to be destroyed by either missiles or meteorites. And I was like, what? I said, it's when you read them precepts about the destruction, it has nothing to do with no fucking meteorites or asteroids. It's referring to the missile. That means that that's a weak camp. The HODC is a weak camp. Because they're questioning what the scriptures say. There's several precepts that describe the ICBMs. Not no goddamn meteorites and no damn asteroids. Now, pretty much that's how Sodom and Gomorrah went out. The Most High caused fire to come down from heaven. But this time he's going to use the missiles, which is his personal army. Read Joel 2. Just Joel 2. There's many other precepts. When he describes these are going to be like soldiers, those soldiers are the ICBM missiles. And that's how this place is going to be taken out. Not by no goddamn asteroids. No meteorites. It's going to be taken out by ICBM missiles. From the north. From a land in the north. Not from outer space. It's going to leave Gog. It's going to go up into space. Out of the atmosphere. It's going to come back in an arcing fashion. And the target is going to be Babylon the Great. And by the breath of his mouth shall he go away. And by the breath of his mouth shall he go away. Now the precept should come to mind is 2nd Ezra chapter 13. And that's a beautiful breakdown. 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 1 on down. Right, Isaiah 54, verse 16. I make it this smith that blow off the coals in the fire and make us an instrument for his work. And I created the waste to destroy. So who's the smith? The modern day smiths are the scientists. Let's see what Isaiah 33 and 12 says. I'm not going to give you too much more. Isaiah. Back to the basics. Isaiah 33, verse 12. And the people shall be as the burnings of lime, as thorns cut up shall they be burned in the fire. In the fire. What fire is it talking about? The thermonuclear fire. You can read this whole chapter. Now will I rise, saith Yahawah, and now will I be exalted. Now will I lift up myself. Ye shall conceive chaff. Ye shall bring forth stubble. Your breath as fire shall devour you. And the people shall be as the burnings of lime, as thorns cut up, shall they be burned in the fire. So what does it mean by in the fire? The nuclear fire. I'll give you two more and then I'm going to close. Isaiah 66, 15 and 16, and I'm going to jump down to 24, then I'm going to close. So pursuant to Isaiah 14, the Most High has a purpose. What is his purpose? To utterly destroy this place. It speaks about the fiery flying serpents. The fiery flying serpents, which in the Hebrew is Saparium, I believe. I'm saying it the right way. Those are the missiles. I mean, I can go all day with these precepts dealing with the destruction, and that is by fire. Peter said, first world went out by water, second world is going to go out by fire. That's 2 Peter chapter 3. For behold, Yahawah will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword is a missile, will Yahawah plead with all flesh, or judge. The word plead is judge. And the slain of the Lord shall be many. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me, for their worms shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched. You can't put this out. It's got to go out by itself. Whether it takes months, whether it takes years, there's going to be smoke bellowing from Babylon the Great for a long time until the smoke clears. And what's going to be left is total desert. Isaiah 34 speaks about the line of confusion. And they shall be in an abhorring unto all flesh, meaning contaminated. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom, on to the next one, shalom.